In today's lecture, we are going to discuss another quantitative character, dominance. Dominance, the word has been used in genetics number of times where we say that in a pair of alleles we have a dominant allele and a recessive allele, and the dominant is the one which is masking the expression of other and is actually reflecting its character in the phenotype, right? That is called the dominating one. Now similarly here also, when we compare the importance of different plant species in a community, then there are certain species who have more influence on other species. Means in terms of the degree of influence, they are more powerful, they are dominant. Such species are called dominant species of that community. Now initially, the dominance that was considered as a synthetic character. Okay, we are studying the quantitative characters, and I told you that the characters which draw their information from these analytical characters, they are called synthetic characters. But here, since the dominance, the data for dominance, that will actually be dependent upon two concepts. The one is cover and second is biomass or productivity. And both these parameters, they are quantitative parameters. So, and cover and biomass. So from these two, the data is used by dominance. So it should be technically called a synthetic character. But if we look at the classification proposed by Daubenmeier, it is M-I-R-E, and it was in 1968. He kept dominance under quantitative characters because he considered that it is a measurable quantity, a measurable attribute. Okay, that is the main differentiation of a quantitative and qualitative character. But if we look upon the data that it draws from cover and biomass, it can be considered as a synthetic character as well. So you can mention it under quantitative or under the synthetic characters. So who kept it under quantitative characters? Daubenmeier. And why this is called a synthetic character? Because it draws its information or data from two parameters, cover and biomass. And that's why, because the information is being derived from the analytical characters, that's why this is called a synthetic character. Okay, but we may place it under synthetic characters or under the quantitative characters. You can define this parameter in both. Now, what is the formula of calculating dominance? It is the total basal area or crown. The total basal area or crown. Now how we calculate that? I told you, whenever we measure canopy, that is a crown, the cover, that may be a crown cover or the basal cover. So depending upon, if you have crown cover, you will have vertical projections from the canopy to the ground, and then you will find out the area of that much place. It may be the basal area. In that condition, at the height dBH, we find out the diameter of the tree trunk, and from that we finally find out, applying the formula pi r square, you can calculate area. Okay, so this is how we calculate area, but now it has to be for all individuals of a species. Okay, so we are not going to find out the basal area of a single plant, rather it should be all plants of that species. So that is called the total basal area or crown area. So it should be both. It can be basal area or crown area divided by the total area sampled. So means if you are laying 10 quadrates of 1 meter square size each, then in denominator you will write 10 meters square. and it should be multiplied with 100 if you are expressing it on percent basis. Now what is relative dominance? Means dominance of a species relative to the dominance of all the species. So it will be dominance of a given species divided by total dominance of all species into 100. So that will give you the value of relative dominance. Now how we can calculate dominance? A table for this is a bit lengthy one because we have to consider number of parameters for this. You have to find out area. So initially you should know what is the diameter, and then from that we'll calculate radius and we'll apply it to the formula pi r square. So in the very first column we have plant species. So you can have number of plant species here. We have already discussed in many examples. Like if we are studying the grassland community, then there can be cynodon. Cynodon is the most common one, lawn grass. Then Launia may be present there. Different species of Euphorbia can be there. We have other plants like Sonchus, Mazes, Nephelium that we'll study when we'll perform practicals. In the second column, you will write total number of plants in the sampling area. Okay, let's suppose in the first quadrant you had 50 plants. In the second quadrant you found again 50 plants. In the third one there were 70 plants. Okay, so depending upon how many quadrants you lay down, you will find out its total. Right, this is 170 here. Similarly for all other species, so it is called Q. Then you have to find out diameter of the plant. So I told you in the previous lecture that diameter can be obtained with the help of vernier caliper, or you can use here screw gauge, or third method is you can use thread. Okay, so on that basis you will find out diameter and will find out radius from there. You all know that the radius is half of diameter. So you will have the values for this column. Next comes the basal area of the plant. So basal area for formula for that is pi r square. So it will be pi r square, but since the radius is in centimeter and you have to convert it into meter. So for that purpose it is centimeter, it is meter square. So you will have in denominator the factor 10,000, okay, because you are converting it to the higher unit. Then you will have basal area of a plant. Now you should have basal area of that complete all plants of that species. So it should be multiplied with the number of plants. So J multiplied by Q, let's suppose it is called K. You may use any alphabet for this. There is no technical or standard abbreviation for these. So let's suppose K is a basal area of all plants of a particular species. So you will have this for Cynodon, for Launia, for Euphorbia. Then you will apply the formula of dominance. That is the basal area of the species divided by area of the sampling units, means area of the quadrants. From there you will get dominance, and if it's a percent basis then you will multiply with 100. And relative dominance means you will have the dominance of a species Y divided by total dominance of all the species Z multiplied with 100. So this will give you the percent value of relative dominance. Now what is the significance of finding out dominance? If we are saying that the value for dominance for Cynodon, that comes out to be, let's suppose this is 75, and the value for Euphorbia comes out to be 20. Okay, so what we can deduce from this? It shows that the species which are having high dominance value, they are successful ecologically in that community, means they can better use the resources of that area. All other environmental conditions are quite suitable for them, and also it determines that those species. Now let's suppose we are talking about grassland, and I'm saying that for grass the maximum dominance value was obtained. It means this is ecologically most successful species of that area, and this is going to determine the conditions under which the associated species will grow. Okay, so this is the main deciding species of that community, and it will ultimately decide or determine it will have influence on other species. So that is the significance of being a dominant species. So that's all about dominance. Now the next factor that we are going to study is association index. This is another quantitative character. We can measure it. Association index is the degree of coexistence of two species. See, 2 is important here. So let's suppose you have species A, species B in a community. What kind of association they have? Are they showing positive association or negative association? That we measure through association index. Okay, now let's calculate this association index, okay, with some values. For example, we have one example quote mentioned here. Let's have another example. Okay, you went to some area and you laid down, let's make it a bit larger, so that total number of quadrates are 10. Okay, and you studied different species found in those quadrats. Now let's suppose you found species A in 5 quadrats, and then another species was species B that was also found in 5 quadrats. Then there is another species, let's suppose species C, that existed in 3 quadrats. Okay, you can have any example. Okay, this is just meant for calculating association index. Now let's suppose index is always calculated for how many species? 2. It means at a time we can see the association index of A with B, or we can see it for A with C, or we can check it for B with C, right? At a time 2 species only when we are talking about association index. Now how will we find out the association index? See, the total number of quadrats has nothing to do with it. We just have to see the quadrats in which they were present and where they coexisted, because it is the degree of coexistence. So let's suppose we are going to find out the association index for A and B. So what we will do, we will see in how many quadrats they are associated. So we have AB here, here and here. So total 3 quadrats in which the species coexisted, divided by the number of quadrats in which A appeared. Okay, why? Because I am studying the association index of A with B, not B with A. Okay, you have to keep this thing in mind. The one with which you are studying, okay, the quadrant number should be found out for that. So A is present in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will be divided by 5 and the value will come out to be, so this will be 0.6. If I have to find A with C, so in how many quadrats both coexisted? There is only 1 quadrat. So it will be 1 divided upon number of quadrats in which A existed. It is 5. So this value will come out to be 0.2. If I need to find out for B and C, then for which it coexisted, see, there is no quadrat in which B existed with C. So the value directly comes out to be 0. It means these species are not associated. Okay, so more is the value, it will always be, the value of association index will always be equal to or less than 1. When it will be 1? When in all quadrats they are coexisting, then it will be 1. So it may be less than or equal to 1. More is the value in this range from 0 to 1. Higher is the association of those 2 species. I am again saying it is only meant to check the coexistence of 2 species. Okay. Now they may be positively associated or maybe negatively associated. So how we find that? This is on the basis of law of probability. You people have studied the equation P is equals to P plus Q is equals to 1. Okay, when we find out the probability For allele P dominant, it is generally called. For allele Q, which is called recessive one. So it's on the basis of Hardy-Weinberg's law when we say that P plus Q should come out to be equal to 1. So we will use that here. Let's suppose there is an example. We had total 100 plots. Okay, total. Out of these 100 plots, A species appeared in 80 plots. Okay, and B species appeared in 40 plots. Now we will find out their probability. Probability will be nothing but in which they appear divided by total. So here it will be 0.8 probability for A, and the probability of appearing B in the next quadrant will be 0.4. Right? It is just like P and Q. So we have the probability of 2, and if I need to find out the probability of both the species to coexist, then simply we will multiply these two, P into Q. So that will come out to be 0.32. Right? Now from this, let's suppose how many plots we had? 100 plots. It means if from 1 I am saying the probability of coexisting is 0.32, it means from the 100 plots it should be 32. And then you are studying that area. If in that area, let's suppose A and B, they are existing together in 40 plots out of 100, and this value is definitely more than 32, it means these species are positively associated. Okay, and in reality, when you studied that these two species, they coexisted only in 20 or any value which is less than 32, that you found out PQ, right? This was PQ. So if it is less than that value, it means they are negatively associated. So basically, on the basis of law of probability, we see what should be the limit for considering the association of positive or a negative one. So if the value comes out to be more of that probability law, P multiplied by Q, then they are positively associated, and if the value comes out to be less than that, then we say that they are negatively associated. So this is how we find out. So on the basis of this, first we can see what is the association index of the two species, and next we can see how to check whether those two species are positively correlated or negatively correlated. So that will be on the basis of probability law. Now related to this, we have index of similarity and dissimilarity. Now when we are talking about more than two species, okay, for two species we are using the word association index. Let's suppose you want to see the coexistence of more than two species. Then we use the index of similarity and dissimilarity. So this is the proportionate coexistence of a species with two or more species. Means minimum at a time you should have 3, or it can be more than 3. Now how we calculate it? Now we are comparing the communities now. For example, you have community 1, you had community 2. Okay. In community 1, you observe total richness is 25 species. You observe 25 different types of species are existing there. And in the second community, you found 15. Okay. And when you compared these, you found out that 10 species are common to both. Means 10 species are present in one as well as in second community. So we are comparing the similarity of two communities, right? So what is the common number of common species are going to be used in the calculation. So the formula will always be, because they are common to both communities, so 2 multiplied by number of species that are common, here it is 10, divided by the number of species in the first community 1 and number of species in the second community. Okay, so here we had 25, here we had 15, so this value will be 2 into 10 upon 40. So it will come out to be 0.5. Clear? So how we calculate the index of similarity? Similarity of two plant communities. So definitely we are comparing more than 2 species. So that we find out, we calculate initially the number of species in first community, number of species in second community, number of species which are common to both the communities. Then we will apply formula. We will multiply 2 and the number of common species divided by total number of species in both the communities. Okay, means simple summation. You cannot say now, okay, here 15 were rare because 10 are common and here 5 are rare, so you will add those only. No. Simple summation of the S of this and S of this, the species richness. On that basis, you will get the similarity index, that community 1 and community 2, they have similarity index of 0.5. Now, what is the index of dissimilarity? This is simply subtracting the value of similarity index from 1. That will be the index of dissimilarity, that how dissimilar those two communities are. So it will be simply subtraction of the value of similarity from 1. So that will give you the value of index of dissimilarity. Now the next parameter is the importance value index. It is abbreviated as capital IVI, and this is again a type of quantitative character of a plant community. In IVI, we are going to use the 3 parameters that we have studied already. It's a simple sum of that. So it's a sum total of relative frequency, relative dominance and relative density. So you have already studied how we calculate these 3 parameters. And at the end, you will just add all 3 values. They are relative, means they are always in the range of 0 to 100. So for all these 3 values, maximum can be 100 plus 100 plus 100. So it can be 300. So what can be the maximum value of IVI for a species? It can be 300. What can be the minimum value? Technically, all these 3, they can be near to 0 range. So we say that the value may approach 0. And since we are calling it importance value index, so clearly it is showing that it is an index to study the ecological or the social importance of a species in that area. See, when we study all these 3 parameters individually, they don't give us a complete picture of importance of that species. For example, if I am studying relative frequency, that will not give me the idea how many plants they are present of that particular species in the area. Similarly, if I am only concentrating on the dominance, I am studying the cover or the basal area, it will not give me the true picture of the social importance of that species in a community. So that's why we have designed a new character, that is by adding all these 3 parameters that can give us the true picture of the sociological status of a species in a community. So this is a general question, that what is the significance of IVI? Why we find IVI? So significance of IVI is that it gives the clear picture of sociological status of a species in a community. How important is that species for that community? So that we get the idea from IVI. So the maximum value of IVI can be 300. So obviously for the species where the value approaches 300, that will be more important. And for those where the IVI values are lesser, let's suppose less than 100, so they will be less important for that plant community. So it's a formula, that is a simple sum of relative density, dominance and relative frequency. Now how we find it out? This is on the basis of a polygraph. Polygraph means now we will having more than 2 axes. When you generally plot a graph, you have x-axis and y-axis. But this will be having 4 different axes. From the center, you will have 3 radii, and these radii, they will be divided into 100 divisions. Okay, so you can see here this is up to 100. Then towards right side, this is up to 100, and the basal one, this is also up to 100. So they correspond to the 3 parameters that we are adding. This is relative density, relative dominance, relative frequency. You can change their sequence as well. And the 4th radii, again from the center you are having towards north side. This radii, this is further divided into 300 divisions. Why? Because I told you it is a sum of all three parameters and the maximum value of IVI can be 300. So accordingly we will plot IVI here. Now how to calculate it, how to find it out. For example, for a species, you found out that the relative frequency is 30. Okay, so you will make a point at 30 along this axis. Then you know from the table you calculated that the relative dominance comes out to be 60. Now relative dominance axis is this one. So on 60 you will mark a point, and the relative density that comes out to be 48. You can write 50 also. It's somewhere close to the midpoint. So let's suppose you got these values. So you mark there 48 for relative density. Then what will you do? We will add all these values, and from addition you can have the idea that IVI comes out to be 138. So towards this axis you will mark a point where it comes out to be 138, and then you will join all the points with solid lines. So this is the area now that is reflecting the importance of species, the sociological importance of species in that community. Okay, this is how we find it out. There is another example. We are showing it for two species, Diacanthium, and another one is Cynodon. Cynodon is lawn grass. Diacanthium is also common species, you must have seen. For this, the spike is like this. You observe on both the sides of the axis like this. The pointed structures are present in the inflorescence, and many such inflorescence they arise from a point, and then you have the main stem. This is called Diacanthium. It's a common species in the grasslands, in the lawn areas. Now let's suppose you had different values for this. For relative frequency you know its value. For relative density it is there. For relative dominance you know the value, and then you add all three and you get the value of IVI. Okay, so you will join it, and this is the area that is reflecting its social importance. Now on the other side you have Cynodon. For Cynodon, the relative frequency value, then the relative density value, then there is relative dominance value. So from that you got the value of IVI. Now you yourself are comparing the area. See, the area under this is less as compared to the area for Diacanthium. So that shows that Diacanthium is sociologically more important for that plant community as compared to Cynodon. So this is how we can compare the social status of a species on the basis of this simple polygraph that will give you the true picture of the ecological importance of that species.